Let's start with the history, guys. Chicago's meatpacking industry played a crucial role in making beef a staple on American plates. But it also gave birth to the iconic Italian beef sandwich. Many of the workers who worked the harsh conditions and received the low wages of the stockyards in Chicago were Italian immigrants. These Italian immigrants often found jobs in the stockyards, and they were attracted to the stockyards for slightly better wages and access to discounted meat. This relationship between Italian workers and the stockyards played a significant role in the creation of the Chicago Italian beef sandwich, a local favorite unknown at the time outside of this region. Today, the ideal Italian beef sandwich is served on a hero roll filled with thinly sliced meat, topped with hot or mild pickled peppers, and sometimes provolone cheese. The sandwich can also be soaked in cooking juices for extra flavor, similar to the French dip. The origins of the Italian beef sandwich are somewhat disputed, but it is believed that early recipes were developed in the kitchens of Italian immigrants. Wedding sandwiches served at simple Italian weddings known as peanut weddings also contributed to the evolution of the sandwich. One of the early pioneers of the Italian beef business was Anthony Ferrari, who started selling sandwiches from his truck. His son, Al, later transitioned the business into a legitimate food establishment known as Al's #1 Italian Beef. However, Pasquale Scala, who sold sandwiches and pre-sliced meats from a streetcar, also played a role in popularizing the sandwich. Today, iconic Chicago shops like Al's #1 Italian Beef, Portillo's, Bueno Beef, and Johnny's Beef, which is behind me, are Chicago staples. In New York City, Bobby's Italian Beef is one of the few establishments offering the authentic Chicago sandwich, bringing a taste of the Windy City to the Big Apple. This Johnny's Beef, located in Elmwood Park, is my favorite because unlike many of its competitors, they actually charbroil their Italian sausage, which you can smell for blocks away. And although they are closed right now and getting ready for the day, that charbroiled scent will lead to long lines that seem to always exist when we drive by. And with the increasing demand for Italian beef, it's likely that more restaurants will start featuring this classic dish on their menus. So why do I love Italian beef so much, you may ask? Well, we all have guilty pleasures, right? And let me tell you, these sandwiches are a true work of art. I want you to picture this: tender, thinly sliced roast beef, piled high on a crusty Italian roll, even though it's not low carb, dripping with savory au jus and topped with sweet or hot peppers. Just the thought of it gets juices going in my mouth, guys. But why should you love Italian beef sandwiches as much as the Metabolic Health Doc did back in the day? Well, for starters, they are a flavor explosion in your mouth. The combination of the juicy beef, the tangy peppers, and the soft roll is just pure heaven. So whenever this carnivore is having a moment of indulgence, it's a quintessential Chicago dish that just screams comfort food for me. But there's a problem, guys. It's unhealthy, especially for the metabolically unhealthy. The person who is struggling with their diabetes or high blood pressure, the person who's on their weight loss journey. Believe it or not, this indulgence, along with its typical sides, are extremely high in carbs. And since the Portillo's restaurant is the biggest brand in our area, let's look at the amount of carbs you will find in their Italian beef sandwich. The classic beef sandwich, or the one I prefer, combination with Italian beef and Italian sausage, has a whopping 59 carbs. And who gets a beef sandwich without those delicious French fries, right? A large order of French fries is 67 carbs. And of course, back in the days when I didn't know anything about low carb, I would grab a Coke with that meal. And for a large Coke, you're looking at 65 carbs. So let's do the math, guys. 59 plus 67 plus 65 carbs equals a whopping 191 carbs. And if you divide that by 4, we can estimate the teaspoons of sugar. That's 47.75 teaspoons of sugar in one meal. Now you may understand, why we have a diabetes and obesity epidemic in America. This does not mean that we don't have moments of indulgence at places like Johnny's. But that's not the purpose of this video, guys. The purpose of this video was to create awareness. Awareness that carbs are hidden in many of the foods that maybe you hadn't thought about. And our bodies just weren't designed to consume 47 teaspoons of sugar at one time, which is exactly what will happen when you consume our famous Chicago beef sandwich with its typical size. So for those of you who are not in Chicago, but may be visiting one day in the future, please have your moment of indulgence when you're visiting our great city. My only hope is that you now understand that certain foods should only be consumed periodically if you want to be metabolically healthy. So if you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate you, and only ask that you like, subscribe, and share, and maybe even comment so that more people can achieve metabolic health as we're all seeking. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.